Good afternoon and welcome to African News on Voice of the People TV. I am David Edwin. Well, we begin the news in Liberia, where Liberian Vice President Jeremiah Kipan Kyong has urged for enhanced economic partnership with Africans and India, with a particular emphasis on revitalizing Liberia's agricultural sector. Speaking at the 19th India-Africa Business Conclave in New Delhi, Kyong highlighted the importance of leveraging India's expertise in agriculture to support Liberia's shift from rice importation to local production. He emphasized Liberia's commitment to fostering investment-friendly conditions and building on the long-standing diplomatic ties with India, aiming to strengthen bilateral trade and cooperation across various sectors. Kyong's participation in the conclave, representing President Joseph Numa Boakai, the senior, underscores Liberia's dedication to international partnership and the potential for transformative investment. The Vice President expressed optimism that the conclave would solidify new, mutually beneficial relationships, contributing to Liberia's socio-economic development and the broader goal of fostering global cooperation. Well, still in Liberia, the 55th legislature of Liberia is poised to reconvene for a two-week extraordinary session from August the 22nd to September the 6th, 2024, to address urgent national and economic issues. This marks the second such session this year, driven by the need to act on the 2024 draft recast budget and other pressing matters before the 2025 national budget submission in October. While the House of Representatives has secured the necessary signatures to reconvene, the Senate is still gathering support for the session. If both houses agree, President Joseph N. Boakai is expected to issue a proclamation to legitimate the session as required by the Constitution. The session will also address the 2024 Presidential Transitional Act, the National TVET Commission Act, and the confirmation of presidential nominees. Well, from Liberia, we move straight to Libya. The National Oil Corporation has refuted social media claims alleging that a national tanker docked in a port within the occupied Palestinian territories. In a statement, the NOC emphasized that its management continuously monitors tanker movement and shipping operations using advanced global tracking system. The clarification follows reports shared on social media which inaccurately claimed that the Anwar al-Nassar tanker had docked in Haifa after departing from Tripoli. The NOC reaffirmed the accuracy and reliability of each tracking system, dismissing the reports as unfounded. Well, still in Libya, the EU ambassador to Libya, Nicola Orlando, has expressed concerns over unilateral actions that could disrupt Libya's ongoing political process. During a meeting with Presidential Council, President Mohammed Menfi, Orlando emphasized that such initiatives might undermine efforts towards a comprehensive political solution, urging all parties to collaborate with the United Nations to maintain Libya's stability and territorial integrity. Orlando also echoed the United Nations support mission in Libya's concern, warning that unilateral actions could deepen division and jeopardize Libya's position in the global financial system. He reaffirmed the EU's commitment to supporting a Libyan-led dialogue facilitated by the Union, stressing the need for transparency and accountability in managing the country's national resources. Well, to help us make sense of some of these stories, particularly the ones from Liberia, joining us virtually is Mr. Hansong G. Blayon, a media communicator officer, Namot Partners for Democratic Development. Mr. Hanson, a very good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, and thanks for the opportunity. I'm very glad to be on your platform this afternoon to discuss national presence issues about Liberia.
All right, let's get to it almost immediately. Interestingly, the vice president did make some interesting statements in New Delhi, particularly in the part of agriculture. What do you make of this enhanced partnership with India and Liberia?
I think the vice president effort is to help strengthen the agriculture industry, a sector in our country, because the agricultural sector been very challenged over the years, and I think with the progress of the current president agenda to strengthen the agricultural sector is based upon this report that the vice president of the Republic of Liberia is making this commitment. However, it's not just the commitment, but we need this agricultural sector's name mechanized that can help local farmers to produce rice that can be back in the country. As you know, the country is not currently producing rice. However, we got large scales of lands, but the farming activities is very poor from the agriculture ministry. We are still depending on India and other countries to export rice in the country. So what citizens are advocating for is the country should have stations where rice production can happen here and local farmers can produce that will enhance economic activity. So with the vice president making commitment in India is good, but however, we also want the production of these rice to be made in this country with the support of the Indian government.
Interestingly, well, some quarters have said that this looks like a political statement coming from the vice president, and of course, owing to the fact that President Buhari has said he wants to revamp the economy in Liberia, and at this point, the partnership is between India and, of course, Liberia. As it stands, major production of this product is going to be in India. So some persons want to say, where then lies the empowerment of farmers in Liberia as it stands with this partnership?
I think that's the reasons why a lot of people, this statement have been backlash heavily in public, and the trustment. Over the years, it has been happening, and if there will be massive production of rice in India, the very essence of the Liberian soil. Because the reasons we have these soils here in our country is very factor is to produce rice. If you are producing the rice in India, what is empowerment for local farmers here? How will the economy be boosted? Because more of that, India is the one that will be taking the money instead of giving them in return. So we are saying that let the production happen in Liberia and let the government make a huge subsidy that will help the farmers and even state-owned enterprise in the rice production processes. The government can advocate for equipment to be here, but India producing the rice, I don't think that will boost the economic. In fact, it will be more of extracting the country resources. So I think that was political, and the vice president said that as a way of interest. But in my perspective, that's not the view of the country, and I think the government really need to try to help the country to be stable, but on a stable food like rice, because the outstanding history of rice in this country, it have brought the outbreak of civil war in April 14, 1979. The major rivalry led to a civil war on rice. So the government need to beat up a game so that because 177, we are not producing our major commodity rice. It is troubling for our country. When the vice president making such a statement in India, I think that's a political statement and you need to revisit that.
All right. Now, again, I want to still finally stay on this particular topic. Well, some persons have said farmers in Liberia seem not to be empowered by this present administration. Do you also share that particular opinion? Because as it stands, it's looking more like they won't be getting more from this particular partnership with India.
I mean, the sector is challenged, and the president came off the agenda of agriculture, and doing his political message, he said he's going to make the agriculture sector to be a booming sector wherein a lot of people will be employed. But from the look of things, the sector is challenged. Even with the budget, the agriculture ministry budget is very low, and with the current budget, you cannot provide subsidies to farmers when you don't have the resources, the tools that will help them to equip themselves to make farm to produce the necessary commodity that will support the society.
Right.
So the sector is challenged, and I agree with everyone, and people are saying it. And we hope the government will reconcile the budget and to see how they can increase the agriculture ministry budget. And however, they need effective monitoring tools that will help the government to mark sources story, because we not just need bare political stories, because it was the same thing we removed the recent government, the George Weah government, and brought Walker into power. So if this same thing are continuing, I mean, the country is not changing. We are just involving the countries around individual who sits in the political time. And when they come to office, there is no change of this particular situation they intend to change.
Interesting. Well, again, I'd like to also bring you to the understanding that the 55th legislature of Liberia is poised to reconvene for a 2-week extraordinary session from August the 27th to September the 6th. Now, of course, the understanding is they are trying to reconvene to address urgent national and economic issues. What do you make of this reconvening by the legislators in Liberia presently? Of course, you did mention the budget of agriculture being low, but part of the reason why these legislators are reconvening is, of course, to give a quick drafting to the budget that is not yet to be passed. What do you make of this as well?
I think with the convening of the 55th National Legislature is very cardinal for our country, because there are a lot of social issues at the moment. And some of the issues are the wrongful dismissal of civil servants from the payroll, which causes serious issue. And also the country currently don't have, or have or acting finance minister.
Okay, we seem to be having a bit of some network glitch there, but we'll be expecting our guest, Hansen G. Blayon, all the way from Liberia, to join us or to rejoin this conversation as we progress. Well, he was going to react to the reconvening of the 55th legislature in Liberia, and of course, we understand that it is because of some pressing national and economic issues that there is going to be this very, very all important. Okay, you're back with us.
Hello?
All right, can you hear me now, Mr. Blayon? Are you there? Okay, we're still finding it difficult to reconnect with him, but hopefully before the end of this news bulletin, we would be rejoining Mr. Hansen Blayon all the way from Liberia to give us more insight as concerning issues in that particular country. But of course, we would go on a very short break. When we return, the rest of the news will be coming to you shortly. Stay with us. Welcome back. The authorities at the examination boards in Kenya and Uganda have requested the Nigerian government to verify the academic records of Nigerian students seeking admission to their institution. The board had officially written to Nigeria's Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAM, to verify the authenticity of the results of candidates from Nigeria. This request comes amid heightened scrutiny as Nigeria seeks to safeguard the reputation of its tertiary institutions on the international stage. The federal government recently halted the verification of degree certificates from countries such as Uganda, Kenya, Benin Republic, following allegation of widespread certificate racketeering. JAM has also maintained its commitment to ensure the integrity of the admission processes in Nigeria, warning institutions against admitting students outside its central admission processing system. The board also emphasized that institutions must submit their matriculation list to the Federal Ministry of Education within 3 months of matriculation. These actions are part of a broader initiative to combat fake degree racketeering and to uphold the standards of Nigerian education both domestically and internationally. And to some business stories, investors at the Nairobi Scrutiny Exchange saw a significant decline in paper wealth, losing cash 53 billion of Kenyan shilling, and that's about 409.27 million dollars in the 3 months leading up to June 2024. This downturn, as reported by the Star, was driven by market volatility and political instability, with the total revenue of shares traded dropping by 2.97% during the period. According to the Kenyan Institute of Public Policy Research and Analysis, NSE's market capitalization fell from 1.763 trillion Kenyan shilling, that's about $13.61 billion, to 1.710 trillion Kenyan shilling, that's about $13.20 billion between April and June, despite showing an overall increase compared to the previous year. Political tensions, particularly anti-tax demonstrations, have contributed to investors' uncertainty. Despite these challenges, foreign investment in bonds surged, indicating continued confidence in Kenya's market potential. Uganda is ramping up its oil exploration efforts by targeting 2 new regions, Moroto Kadam Basin in the northeast and Yonga Basin in the north, where potential crude discoveries could add to the nation's existing 6.5 billion barrels of proven reserves. This was disclosed by Energy Minister Ruth Nankabrawa during a press conference in Kampala. The Albertine Graben Basin, the country's only successful explored region, has been delayed in starting production due to various challenges. But the government is optimistic that early results from the new basin indicate significant commercial potential. The Albertine Basin, home to the Tanglinga and Kingfisher oil fields, is largely controlled by Total Energy, with stakes held by China's CNOOC and Uganda's National Oil Company. Uganda is also pushing for funding for the East African crude oil pipeline, which is crucial for exporting the country's crude. A decision from Chinese financiers is expected next month, and the government remains hopeful as it seeks to accelerate its oil industry development. A 2,492 carat diamond, the second largest ever found, have been unearthed in Botswana at the Karonwi mine, owned by Canadian firm Lucara Diamond. This extraordinary discovery is the largest since the 3,106 carat Colunian diamond was found in South Africa in 1905, which was later cut into stones that now form part of the British crown jewels. Lucara CEO William Lamb expressed elation over the find, noting that the diamond was detected using advanced mega diamond recovery X-ray technology. The Karonwi mine, located 500 meters north of Botswana's capital, Gaborone, has previously produced other significant finds, including a 1,758 carat diamonds in 2019, while details of the gem quality and value remains undisclosed. The diamond producer responsible for around 20% of global production. And then in sports, documents have surfaced online revealing that the Youth and Sports Ministry spent over $3 million on the coverage of 13th African Games. The payments were distributed among 6 companies, including PSG, Quality Media Production, SL, the Production Room, Silicon Production, GBC, 24-Hour African Games Channel, and Positive Communication. The payment memo, reportedly signed by GBC's Director General, Professor Amin Al-Hassan, indicates that PSG received 2,056,534 euros, while 1 million went to Quality Media Production SL, $165,000 to Silicon Productions, and $105,000 to GBC's 24-hour channel. Well, still in sports, Egypt is making a strong push to bring the Olympics to Africa for the first time, with a bid to host the prestigious sporting event. Egypt have heavily invested in building top-notch sports facilities, including a massive sports complex that meets international standards. The International Olympic Committee have given Egypt's bid a positive review, saying the country is ready to host the Games. However, the question remains whether the massive undertaking will be worth the cost and efforts. Hosting the Olympics can bring significant economic benefits and global recognition, but it also requires a huge amount of resources and planning. Egypt's bid has sparked excitement and debate, with many wondering if the country is ready for the challenge. And with that, we've come to the end of African News on Voice of the People TV. Do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. On YouTube, we are at Voice of the People TV, and on all other social media platforms, we are at VOP TV Live. Thank you so very much for being here. I am David Edwin. Do have a good afternoon.